As I mentioned, Randy's making French toast and stuffing it with peanut butter and jam. Sounds good to me. Here's what you need for this recipe. Brioche bread, peanut butter, strawberry jam, some eggs, 35% cream, butter, and flaky salt. Okay, Randy, this sounds like it's combining two of the most amazing things, French toast with the classic PB&J. I don't know where you come up with this stuff, but do tell us, how do we start?
You know what? It was really simple because growing up, everyone wants the peanut butter and jelly sandwich. It's just so quick and easy. And then lately, you know what? Every weekend, the boy is asking for French toast. So I was like, we'll just stick the two together. But there are some rules to play in, right? And what you want to do is find the best bread whenever you're making French toast. And what this is, Tracy, is brioche bread. Do you know what makes brioche different from regular bread?
Well, it's kind of sweet, so I don't know what they do to make it that way, but I love it.
There's a little bit of extra sugar in there, there's some eggs in there, and there's some butter in there. So let's start with the egg wash. And really, really simple. We're just gonna go 2 eggs, 1, 2, and basically what we're gonna do is make an egg wash, but this is 35% cream. Now, if you're watching your weight, you can go with a little bit, like a 2% or whatever you got in the fridge, maybe a half and half. It's really not gonna matter, nor will it scramble. But what you need to do is just give it a nice fine beating in a shallow dish like that. And basically you're ready to go. I would hold off on like the cinnamon and things like that. You can do it if you want, and the vanilla, but basically what we're looking for is a crust on that brioche bread. So now let's talk peanut butter. Tracy, what is your go-to with the peanut butter?
So I'm not about the crunchy. I grew up as wanting the crunchy peanut butter all the time as a kid. Now I'm all about the smooth peanut butter, and I'm not really even a nut butter person. Like, I want the pedestrian peanut butter that's bad for you.
We are going with a natural smooth here. So it's going to be a little less sugar because I do feel like there's a bunch of sugar being introduced almost on every level of this. Yeah. And what we're really looking for is that creaminess, like kind of spouting out. And what you want to do is just kind of put it in the sandwich like that, but just keep a little bit out from the edges. Think of it as like almost a giant ravioli. And then we're going with the jam, just plain old jam. You have a preference on your jam, Trace? What do you lean towards?
Oh, I like strawberry jam. That's my favorite, but I'm not that picky.
You know, it kind of tastes like all the same, doesn't it? It's kind of like, you know, fruity and sweet and like has that nice little texture to it, the gelatinous in there. And that's all a good time. So what we're gonna do is do the same thing, mimic the peanut butter and the jelly there. And then it's really simple. We're gonna do the fold over.
Okay.
Like, this is already looking pretty darn tasty. This looks like my lunch growing up right here, except maybe without the brioche, right? I got a pan on nice medium heat here, and then what we're gonna do is just kind of slide it in here and be very careful because the bread is soft. And we go both sides, kind of put it in there. We can get the edges kind of done like that, and what that's gonna do is the egg wash is just gonna seal that outside. We take a nub of butter right here, and into the pan it goes. So let's watch.
Oh, I like that sound.
Right, is that the sound? Like, did you do a lot of French toast as a kid, like Saturday mornings? Is that something your dad would do?
Yes, not my dad. Me and my sister would do it ourselves, or my mom. And now I do it all the time on the weekends for the kids. Love it.
You know, it was for some reason on the weekends my dad jumped in the kitchen and he would be there and he would be making the pancakes and the French toast were his thing. That was the only time he ever cooked, unless the barbecue came out and it was like steaks and hamburgers and potatoes on the barbecue. That was his thing. But I still remember now as a kid, and the pancakes and the French toast were always the old man, which, you know, the food always brings back those memories, right? Yeah. And anytime we can think of those things. So I'm hoping, you know, in another 35 years, Cash will be like making French toast for his kids going, oh, you know what we should do? Aww. We should stuff it with peanut butter and jelly and make that sandwich, because that's what my dad did for me, right?
Yeah.
So we can wait for those for another couple minutes, but secretly, Tracy, I kind of put things together because I wanted to have this shot. You ready for this? And then what we're gonna need to do is just stack these up like this. And then that jelly is kind of leaking out like that. Oh, yeah. And because it's French toast, Trace, we're calling it French toast, we need a little side of maple syrup, because if the jam and peanut butter, because we want the natural, isn't sweet enough, then they get the little Dunkaroo on the side with the maple syrup.
Randy, it's beautiful, and yeah, go for it. You were right to go with the natural peanut butter. We have enough sugar going on here in this recipe. Use the natural peanut butter. Oh my gosh, it's such a good idea. I'm going to make it this weekend for the kids. They're going to love it. Thank you.